Stepping Out with Steam is a production of Blue Ridge Public Television and was brought to you through funds provided by the Norfolk Southern Corporation.
Class J locomotives, which Norfolk and Western built in the 40s and early 50s, were the finest steam passenger locomotives in the world. Unfortunately, the diesel locomotive put them out of service because of the fact that the diesel was much more efficient and much more economical to operate. So the reciprocating steam engine, as romantic and as attractive as it is, came to its end with the diesel locomotive in the 50s. Well, Norfolk and Western, after I became president, decided, and I'm being a little facetious here, I guess I decided it because I felt it was a good thing to do, decided that we should revive a steam locomotive for excursion service because of the good publicity and the great interest which was shown in our steam locomotives. When we decided to take the 611 out of the park, I knew from the beginning that I would want to be present for this great event, and I was. I went down and without trying to be obtrusive, I climbed up in the cab while they coupled up to the locomotive and pulled it out of the park. And I must say it was a nostalgic and emotional occasion. The first time it moved in almost 20 years, I guess. I was on board, and I was very, very happy.
The 611, of course, is of particular interest to me, primarily because of locating the drawings necessary for rehabilitation, and secondly, because I lived with it during its 18 years at the museum. Probably took thousands of people through the cab to explain the various cab functions, and during the removed museum, I was also there to make sure that it got out of the museum properly.
The Norfolk Southern Corporation picked 611 to restore as an example of the latest and finest motive power of the steam age. It was built in 1950, and it represents all the greater advancements in engineering and design for steam locomotives. We had a maximum of 20 men working at one time restoring the locomotive. It took about 8 months to the best of my memory, and the last 2 months getting the engine out, we worked about 14 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. One of the gentlemen that came to help us restore the locomotive was an old retired general foreman from Roanoke shops, Paul Hausman. His knowledge was wonderful. His ability was wonderful. And Paul helped put the engine together. He really did. He contributed a great deal.
611 was put out of the park in 82. Got to Roanoke shop and got prepared to go to Birmingham, Alabama. And I went to Birmingham with it. Made me feel real good, thinking people thought enough I was to run up and down the road the way they did. People thought that's all the way from Birmingham to Chattanooga. I did the best thing ever built, I think. The one thing is take it down the road and ride real good. Don't shake you all to pieces. And I rode at 85 miles an hour. Down between Petersburg and Norfolk. It'll do more than that. That's fast enough for me.
it was quite a thrill to work on the locomotive and help to rebuild it and then finally see it operate on these trips like the one we're on today. It's a feeling of pride and accomplishment in your work. I guess all the men that worked on the engine feel that way.
Yes, there's lots of people that would like to have the job that I've got right now, firing the steam engine. But they see it as a glory job, a lot of glory. You sit up there and you fire and you wave at the people and go by, and there's a lot more work to it than just that. As umpteenth thing, I hardly have time to look at any scenery, just for that fact I have to keep my eyes on about 4 or 5 different gauges and the track. Firing's controlled by about 5 little steam jets that blow coal out all over the firebox. It has a large auger, feeds coal from the tender up into the firebox on top of this firing table, they call it. We want to have a nice small flat fire. If you have good coal, you can usually do that. Sometimes we have our problems though, so it changes so much from coal to coal. Most of the time I primarily have to think about where the water level is in the boiler. That's the main thing. You don't want to ever get any low water. Otherwise you go boom, to say the least. We usually start one of these locomotives up from a cold start. We usually fire it up about the day before a trip. And it takes about 6 or 8 hours to get the steam pressure up from 0 to 300 pounds. We fill the boiler up with about 1 inch of water in the sight glass, and we lay a bed of coal in there, green coal they call it, about 3 inches deep, throw a bunch of kindled wood on top of it, soak it down with some kerosene or diesel fuel and light it off. But since there's no steam, we hook an airline up to the engine and use it for an artificial draft to make the smoke blow out the stack. And that's about all it is to it. You just let it sit there and percolate until you get up ahead of pressure and disconnect your air and you're ready to go. This is the greatest stoker-fired engine in the country, I would say. So I'm real proud to be a part of the Norfolk Southern Steam Locomotive Corporation.
I enjoy being the engineer on the 611. I feel, with some lack of modesty, that I'm a pretty good engineer. Maybe not the best. I know I'm not the best. Frank Collins is our permanently assigned engineer on the 611, and he is the best. But I come close after that. Oh, seriously, I enjoy the opportunity to be the engineer on any steam engine, particularly the 611. It's a challenge. It is a difficult job if done well. My primary concern as any engineer is to run an engine safely, and I really think I do that. So I not only enjoy it, I find it to be a real challenge, and I enjoy watching the people see the 611 as it goes by. Their faces are something to behold. Some of them show ecstasy, some of them show fright, because particularly young people have never seen an animal of this kind that makes this kind of noise. It hisses, it moans and groans. The sound of the steam coming out of the stack and the cylinders remind you of a dragon, if nothing else, or the way a dragon is supposed to act. Not that the 611 and its sisters are dragons. They're not. They're beautiful girls, from my way I look at them. But the whole feeling of a steam engine is of a living creature. It has characteristics which make one think of something that's alive.
Well, the 611 is pretty much of an individual like we are. She's got a personality all her own, and she expects you to treat her a certain way, and she'll react a certain way. That's just the way she's built. And there's things that she doesn't particularly like to have done, and she lets you know about it right away.
Well, the whistle can make various sounds depending on how you pull it. I don't think that I've been a steam engineer long enough to have developed a distinctive style. Some of the old-timers who ran the 611 and her sisters during their working career probably did have distinctive styles. And they say that people could tell who was the engineer by the sound of the whistle. I take that some grain of salt, because there's only so much you can do with a whistle. You can pull it in jerks, and the sound will be very abrupt. I don't like that. I like to give it a little tone. You give it a little careful pull. But I don't think I'm any different from most of the people who ran the 611. They like to make the whistle talk.
It's an experience, it's nostalgia, and that's why people should ride a train. I get asked a lot of questions about, people come to the museum and they say, where's the 611? This is the home of the 611. And with great pride, I tell these visitors that, yes, the 611 is a part of our collection, the most significant piece that we have in our collection, but it's in steam excursion operation now. The best thing that could ever happen to the 611 is that it be on the road, in service. It is reaching thousands and thousands, and maybe even millions of people.
We've reached about 70 trips a year now, and these are very unique in the American situation today. We're the only outfit at the railroad that runs mainline steam operations, with a few exceptions. The Union Pacific has a couple a year. We go all over the Southeast and the Midwest, which is where our lines run, and all the trains are sold out. There's a vast demand. There's a great latent desire. The American people, I'm accused of exaggerating, but I like to see them come in great waves of happy people to ride these trains, and that's what's happening.
The Bluegrass Railroad Museum plans excursions using the 611 because the 611 is a modern steam locomotive representing the finest of steam power. We have people on this steam excursion from all over the country, as far away as California, New York, and even one from Australia.
Our goal is to make one of these operations look like it didn't take anything to do it, although it's far from that. But the passengers really shouldn't have to see the effort, because we're trying to do it for their benefit and our own. We get enjoyment out of it.
In a way, we are creating a part of history with these trains. The use of a steam locomotive, which is something out of the past, and the types of cars that we've preserved, give people now an opportunity to do something that many of them never had a chance to do in the years of the steam train and just multitudes of passenger trains that crossed this country. Since 611 has been out, we have provided anywhere from 3 to 5 of the cars that travel with its train various places around the eastern U.S.
you take a train excursion today, you are exposed to lots of different kinds of people. A unique aspect of riding trains today is to run into rail fans. Rail fans are train lovers. They are extremists. They will paint their cars in the same scheme as their favorite railroad. We have people affiliated with the museum, one person in particular who's painted his van in Norfolk and Western's colors. It's the same scheme as the 611. We have people who have license plates that reflect the 611 or N&W, or just one aspect of their favorite part of being a rail fan. They wear their hats and they'll cover their whole body, their clothes, with badges and patches.
I'm a rail nut. I'd go anywhere to ride a train.
The steam engine is a thing of the past, and if you get a chance to ride behind the steam engine, I think everybody ought to.
I'm on this trip because I came on it 4 years ago, and I've come back every year since.
It feels just, there's no words in the dictionary that are going to explain riding a steam engine. It does something to you that nothing else does.
Rail fans really cover all segments of society. It's amazing the number of people that you wouldn't believe. We had 2 federal judges on yesterday, and you have doctors, physicians, and lawyers, and the common man, and just people. It's there. It's there. All you do is got to spark the interest, and we do it. That lonesome whistle brings them right out of the woodwork, or out of bed, or down from the hills.
Is just like the human body. It's got to be operating up and moving, or it'll just rust and die. So the best thing that could happen to the museum and to the 611 is that it stay in operation, reach as many people as possible, and stay finely tuned in a fine, beautiful piece of machinery that it is.
I think our management and the people involved want to see the American people relive the great heritage of the American railroads. Mr. Claytor is a very dedicated, I'll call him a rail buff. He's a rail expert too. He's an engineer of great qualifications. He ran the train today, runs it quite often. And as long as he is here, we will have steam.
Well, the future of the 611 depends on whether or not the company, after I'm gone, and whether the public have an interest in this locomotive and similar locomotives. Right now, the interest is very high, I think, both in our company and in the public. And the 611 continues to grow large crowds, and we carry more and more people behind the 611 every year, averaging well over 1,000 people a trip. As long as that's the situation, the 611 has a happy and prosperous future.
I think the people should ride behind the steam locomotive. It's more relaxing. You see more people. It's not in a hurry like the Amtrak. You're from one car to another. You can take a walk through the train, meet other people. You can just have a good time.
Locomotive is very infectious thing, and anybody that's ever been around one is usually willing to go back. We convinced 3 people from Belvedere to go on this trip with us now, and they're all enjoying it.
Yeah, I think you're doing a very good job out here, and I think you should really keep it going because it's certainly worth preserving and it's worth keeping worldwide, and it's a triumph of like the Victorian age of the height of man's engineering from the Industrial Revolution period, and it should be maintained, and as long as there's the enthusiasm and dedication to keep it running worldwide, more power to it.
Go, go, go. It's the most wonderful experience you'll ever have in your life.
Wonderful, and I'd love to come back again.
Ride this train and trains like it as often as you can and as much as you can, because they can't be around forever. They all wear out after a time. So savor it while you can, because it's always a very precious experience.
Stepping Out with Steam is a production of Blue Ridge Public Television and was brought to you through funds provided by the Norfolk Southern Corporation.